The time is 8 p.m. Central. All regular amateur traffic, please stand by. The Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net has begun. My name is Maria, KI5SYX, and I will be your net controller for this evening. Transmitting tonight from East Austin using the 147.320 repeater covering the greater Central Texas area and beyond via N5OAK-R or K5D-R on Echolink or node 51444 on Allstar. Please be reminded that this is a control net, so all stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment time. And as always, if there is emergency or intergalactic traffic, we will yield. The Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net is a social net. During tonight's net, radio operators will get together and share knowledge and experiences. I'll call for stations who wish to participate and then go down the list one at a time. And this will happen a few times during the evening. One request, please keep it light and fun and nice, making it appropriate for all ears, human or not. If you've been visiting Discord this week, hopefully you've guessed this week's theme. So, without further ado, time to identify some unidentified frequency band operators who only have a few minutes by asking for short time check-ins. Short time check-ins, come on in with your call sign and name.
This is Kilo India 5, Yankee Lima, Zero, Cody, and Forces.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken in South Austin, no traffic.
This is Kilo Juliet 5, Alpha Victor Juliet, Bill in Judah, no traffic.
This is KI5YAA, Kilo India 5, Yankee India Alpha, Marshall, the club's newest extra in South Austin, no traffic.
This is November 5 Whiskey Romeo Whiskey, N5WRW in Buda.
This is Kilo 5 Juliet Mike, K5JM Sam, South Austin.
Wonderful. We've got a great group of short timers. We start with Cody, KI5YLS. What's up, Cody? How are you doing tonight?
How's it going? So you'll be hearing Cody, KI5YLS. Currently at work, so I'm only able to check in for a quick minute, but I'll be listening to the net tonight through my earbuds. But I would have said no traffic, but I wanted to say real quick to update everybody on my GED classes. I've taken all 4 now, and the only one that didn't pass was math and social studies. But I'm at a point now where I've passed enough tests to where I can go talk to somebody at the campus about signing up for welding classes. And other than that, just been working my butt off, and might get to go out to the club tomorrow night. And that's about it. I'll be listening to KI5 Wireless.
Wonderful, Cody. Thanks for checking in, and congrats on your success with your test. We wish you the best of luck. We know you're going to do great in your next session, and we wish you a lot of luck with your new welding endeavors. So I think that would come in handy when people are creating spaceships. What do you think, Ernesto? Would welding come in handy?
Absolutely. It will be needed up there for sure.
All right. Well, good luck, Cody. I wonder if you were on Discord this week, do you have any idea what tonight's theme is all about?
Negative. I do not know what tonight's theme is about. But I haven't been on Discord much this week, especially the Ham Radio Discord server, so I haven't been too much up to detail.
Roger that, Cody. Well, thank you for checking in again, and yes, definitely listen with your headset on while at work because tonight's net is going to be out of this world. Thanks for checking in. Next, we're going to go to Ken at KI6HQT. He says no traffic. Welcome, and we will count you in tonight's net or operators that checked in. Thank you so much. We also have KJ5ABJ Bill from Buda, also with no traffic. Thanks for checking in. We have Marshall, KI5YIA, and he is just announcing, he doesn't have traffic today, but he did announce that he's an extra. Whoop, whoop. Kudos to you. Congratulations, Marshall, on becoming the latest Club Extra member. Great job. All right, number 5 on our short time check-in. We've got Dwight, N5WRW. Hey, Dwight, how you doing? Come on in.
Real good. I've been untangling cords and getting antennas higher in trees today. That's been my activities. WRW.
Great. Thanks for checking in, Dwight, and coordinating antennas and untangling wires. That will definitely help you to make contacts here on Earth and beyond. So that is a very important endeavor. Did you happen to catch on Discord what tonight's theme is about?
No, I didn't. I hadn't really paid too much attention to Discord yet. I'm on there, but nothing. I didn't do much today. N5WRW.
Sounds good, Dwight. No worries. Tonight's net is going to be very exciting, we're thinking. And we did give a few clues on Discord on what the theme is about, but you'll know shortly. Thanks for checking in. Have a great night.
Thanks so much for doing the net. N5WRW.
Now we're going to Sam, KJJM. I have a terrible secretary over here. It's K5JM. Sam, how are you? How are you doing? Come on in.
This is K5JM. Hey, Maria and Ernesto, thanks for running the net. Yeah, short time tonight, but I think I know the answer to the question. I have seen some things on Discord there. It looks like it's the extraterrestrial UFOs or aliens theme. Very curious to find out. And great CW net tonight, so thanks everyone for showing up. Back to net. K5JM.
Yes, Sam, you are going down the right line, but let's not divulge too much before the main event tonight, but I think you're on the right track. And thank you for checking in tonight, and good job on keeping up on CW, because I know that those special messages can be heard out in space. So it's always good to be really, really good at CW. Just in case everything goes to HEL. Here on Earth, you can still send out some messages to space. Thanks, Sam, for checking in tonight.
Okay, well, thank you so much for taking my check-in. I hope I didn't spoil it. Back to net, K5JM.
Do something really important. For those listening on planet Earth tonight and on the Tesla that's currently passing Mars, we got to tell you that this is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, courtesy of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N5OAK. Every Thursday night at 8 p.m. here on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. Be sure your tone is set to 114.8. For the University Link, it's 97.4. My name is Maria, my call sign KI5SYX, and I'm your hostess for tonight's Out of This World Net. What a great first contacts list, Ernesto. First of its kind. We're surely headed for a star-filled net tonight. Thanks for all those who checked in short time. Next stop on tonight's agenda are... In order for you to make space contacts, you will need to know the answers to the following questions from the FCC Current General Exam. Ernesto KI5PZN has been debriefed on which questions to ask our operators. Ernesto?
Hey, man. This is KI5PZN. All right, with tonight's questions, we are going to be opening the floor to technicians only here first. And the first question, this is for the general test, is how can a geomagnetic storm affect HF propagation? How can a geomagnetic storm affect HF propagation? Alpha, improve high latitude HF propagation. Bravo, degrade ground wave propagation. Charlie, improve ground wave propagation. And Delta, degrade high latitude HF propagation. I'm going to read the answers again. Alpha, improve high latitude HF propagation. Bravo, degrade ground wave propagation. Charlie, improve ground wave propagation. And Delta, degrade high latitude HF propagation. If you know the answer, if you're a technician, please call in with your call sign and your answer.
KI5, I should be working, so I'm going to go with a alpha.
Now we got Cody with Alpha. Anybody else, any technician that would like to give a shot, call with your call sign and your answer. All right, well, heard on the technicians, except for Cody, so let's open up the floor to anybody else that would like to try, please call in with your call sign and your answer.
KI5 UKF, Delta.
And 5SMO, Delta.
We got Steve with Delta and Bill with Delta as well. Anybody else would like to give it a shot? Call with your call sign and your answer.
N5WRW. I guess I'll go Delta too.
We got Dwight with Delta as well. Anybody else would like to try in?
BBS, put me down for B, as in black hole.
We have Rusty there with Bravo. And this one, the correct answer is Delta. It's the Great High Latitude HF propagation. All right, well, let's do number 2 question here. So this one is, how long does it take a coronal mass ejection to affect radio propagation on Earth? How long does it take a coronal mass ejection to affect radio propagation on Earth? Alpha, 28 days. Bravo, 14 days. Charlie, 4 to 8 minutes. And Delta, 15 hours to several days. If you know the answer and you are a technician, please call in with your call sign and your answer. AJ5 BLC, I'm going to go with Delta. BLC with Delta. Anybody else, any technician that would like to give it a shot, call with your call sign and your answer. All right. Anybody else would like to give it a shot? Any other technician? All right, well, let's open up the floor to anybody else that would like to give it a shot. Please call in with your call sign and your answer.
This is November 5, Lima X-ray. I'm going to guess Delta.
And 5SMO, Delta.
I got you, Bill. Anybody else would like to give it a shot? Call in with your call sign and your answer.
BBS, A, as in alien.
Got you, Rusty. Anybody else would like to give it a shot? All right, well, thank you guys for participating. The answer to this one is Delta as well. How long does it take to a coronal mass ejection to affect radio propagation on Earth? Is 15 hours to several days. Thank you guys for participating. I'm going to send this back to Net Control. It's KI5 PZN.
Thank you, Ernesto. But we must interrupt this net for a declassified announcement. In case you've just joined us, this is the OCal Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Courtesy of the OCal Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. My name is Maria, call sign KI5SYX, your hostess with the mostest for tonight's net. As we travel deeper into the net tonight, let's listen to a bit of news related to the exploration and expansion of ham communication in space. Again, Ernesto, KI5PZN, shall report on the intelligence that has been gathered and delivered to the East Austin QTH. Ernesto?
This is KI5PZN with tonight's news. This is from the Amateur Radio Newsline Report 2391 from Friday, August the 25th. Here's Ham's joint government satellite hacking exercise. Can amateur radio expertise help hack a government satellite, all in the name of helping the United States tighten up its cybersecurity? Well, some hams just did that. Some of the world's top hackers worked their way into an orbiting CubeSat known as Moonlighter to help the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Space Force expose vulnerability that could pose cybersecurity threats. The global competition known as Hackasat 4, I like that, Hackasat 4, recently announced the winners following the finalist round held in August. A team from Italy known as Hackeroni captured the top honors. With skills in RF communications, reverse engineering, satellite operations, and vulnerability research paramount to success, a group of 40 full-time Northrop Grumman employees known as Space Bids Are Us took up the challenge too, landing the 4th place spot. A number of hams were on the team, including Brian Wilkin, KO4AQF, and Wyatt Neal, KD8AQS, the team hacking lead. Brian, who is a satellite enthusiast, a former AMSAT member, and a recipient of the Satellite VUCC Award, told Newsline in an email that being a ham helps deliver relevant skills for this kind of challenge. He said, and quote, operators gain expertise in radio wave propagation, modulations, antenna design, allowing them to understand satellite communication protocols and frequencies. Additionally, knowledge of software-defined radio technology enables intercepting, decoding, or modifying satellite signals, end quote. It has clearly paid off not just for the government-sponsored contest, but for the Northrop Grumman team as well, which placed second in the finals for Hackasat 3. The prize, however, is awareness. As Brian told Newsline, this serves as, quote, a wake-up call to the industry. Obscurity does not equal security, end quote. The second article is India marks successful lunar landing. Congratulations to India, which is celebrating a successful soft landing of a rover on the moon's surface. Amateur radio operators joined the Indian Space Research Organization and the rest of the nation in making the arrival of the Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft near the moon's south pole on the 23rd of August. India's delivery of a rover to the lunar surface follows its 2019 attempt, which crashed. Shortly after this successful landing, 4 radio amateurs in India proudly got on the air calling QRZ with the call sign AT2ISRO. They were being heard on HF, VHF, and UHF as well as Echolink through the 25th of August. According to Arunava Day, VU3XRY, who was one of the activators, this use of the IRO call sign like the moon landing was first for India. And the third one, Arecibo is closed but reviewing proposals. As expected, research halted on August 14th as the U.S. National Science Foundation's Arecibo Observatory. The agency is now hoping to keep the site alive by selecting one of several proposals submitted earlier this year for the development of an educational center at the site in Puerto Rico. The doors to research at the world-renowned Arecibo Observatory have been shut more than 2 years after the collapse of the facility's 305 meters wide dish, an instrument that once tracked asteroids, gravitational waves, and exoplanets. Besides, conversion into a STEM education and research center was originally planned for this year, but has taken longer than expected. Proposals were invited in late 2022, with the agency setting a February 2023 deadline for all those interested. So far, no decision has been announced. In the months following the collapse in 2020 of its iconic radio telescope, the observatory reopened its visitor center and observation deck. Scientists continue their research with other tools at the facility. All that has seized as Arecibo, the site where the first binary pulsar was discovered, now pondered its future. That's it for tonight's news. I'm sending this back to Net Control.
Thank you, KI5SYX, for that information. KI5PZN. So here's the thing, though. We just received a manila envelope with the following message to share. In case you've just joined us, this is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, courtesy of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N5OAK. And my call sign is KI5SYX. My name is Maria, and I am hosting tonight's net. To wrap up tonight's disclosure on recent events, we go first to Fox News with Sky, N5LX. Then we invite Rusty, WZ5BBS Club President, with announcements. Take it away, Sky, then pass it on to Rusty.
Okay, Maria, this is N5LX. Thanks. I'm still trying to figure out what you are up to with those clues that you've been dropping. But anyway, okay. Since we didn't have a fox hunt this last weekend, I'm just gonna give a brief description of fox hunting for those who may have not tried it already. I'll just give a real brief description. So fox hunting, sometimes called radio direction finding, it's when you're trying to hunt down the location of a transmitter, right? And in our case, it's the transmitter that somebody's hidden, hopefully in an interesting and challenging location. It could also involve tracking down harmful radio frequency interference, or maybe finding a stuck mobile or handheld transmitter. I actually did that once a long time ago. So fox hunting is a potentially useful skill, but our fox hunts are pretty informal. It's just for fun. Everyone pretty much goes at their own pace, and they begin the hunt at pretty much any time they want because you have to try to fit it into your schedule. One benefit of the fox hunts that we have is that, at least for me, I can speak for me, I've discovered a lot of really nice hidden natural areas that I wouldn't have known about otherwise. So for that reason alone, I really enjoy the fox hunting. Plus, I get to kind of experiment with and explore, different kinds of techniques and gear. The transmitters for the fox hunts, I'm going to reset real quick. The transmitters we use are usually on the 2-meter band, specifically, 146.565 megahertz. We had one fox hunt in the 70-centimeter band, which was interesting. That one was hosted by Rusty. Actually looking forward to another one in that band. It might be fun. Anyway, those interested in hosting a hunt, they usually put together their own transmitter package, or you can even borrow one from the club. And finding a good hiding place, that's another part that's actually really enjoyable. I've hosted a few hunts, and I really like that aspect of it. And it's kind of up to your imagination. Let's see, after coming up with a good hiding spot, the next step is to create a map that kind of designates the limits of the area within which the transmitter will be hidden. And the maps are then posted on the N5OAK Discord Fox Hunt channel, and there's a maps channel too. So if you're familiar with Discord, if you know where to go. If you're not, you should get on the N5OAK Discord. There's a lot of really great stuff on there. Let's see. Along with the map, you'll post the start time and the finish time for the hunt. The length of the hunt's usually just determined or limited by like how long your transmitter's battery is going to last. I'm going to reset again. The radios people use for fox hunting are usually HTs, but you can use a mobile rig or even an SDR. I think Philip, AC5G, has a really cool SDR with a waterfall display that he uses for hunts. There's a wide range of antennas that you can use. People usually use a mobile whip antenna for the initial phase where you're trying to get that initial contact with the signal. What Jeffrey, I think, calls ears on, which I like that phrase. After the initial phase, a lot of people use handheld Yagi antennas, and a lot of people even build their own, which is a fun project. Some people use, at the final phase of the hunt where you're getting really close, some people will use the rubber duck and, what do they call it, body blocking. And you can read more about that on the Discord channel if you don't know what that means. Or you can even use a stubby antenna on one of your little handheld radios when you get really close. And eventually, you have to try to find it visually, which can be just as challenging as the other part. I'm going to reset again. Anyway, if you haven't tried radio direction finding, or what we call fox hunting, and that brief description, hopefully gave you some idea as to what it's all about. If you haven't tried it and you think you might be interested, check out the N5OAK website, and definitely check out the N5OAK Discord channel. There's a specific fox hunt channel. It's dedicated to fox hunts. And there's another fox hunt channel that has the maps on it. And if you look in the upper right-hand corner of that Discord page, there are, what do they call those things? There's pinned messages. And if you click on that, you can find information for how to make a map, and also even some how-to videos on what fox hunting is all about and how to maybe even build your own antenna. It's pretty cool. Anyway, hopefully we'll get some people joining the hunt. If not, that's cool. When we get some cooler weather, though, I want to see more people out there. I guess that's all, Mireya, and thanks for hosting the hunt. And I'm scratching my head trying to figure out what all these hints are all about, but I guess we'll find out eventually. This is N5LX. Back to you.
Fabulous summary of what fox hunting is all about, Sky. As usual, your participation is just wonderful. Thanks for your input this evening. We go now to Rusty, WZ5BBS Club President. What you got going on, Rusty? Come on in.
Thank you, Mireya, for running the net. Always good to hear you on the repeater. Thanks to Sky, N5LX for the Fox News, and Senor Ernesto, KI5PZN for the news and the questions. Tonight's official club business, we are sitting at 560 members. One new member, and that is Jet, KC5CJA, KJ5CJA. So welcome to the club. We are also actively accepting donations for the club. It has been an expensive quarter. We had 2 repeaters down, so if you have anything laying around, spare change, something in the couch cushions and under the seat of the back, by all means, throw them our way. We use Zelle. All the donation information is available online at n5oak.org. While you're there, you can also grab some N5OAK gear. You can get coffee mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, anything you want with our logo on it on the website as well. And we have a brand new contest calendar for all of you new hams out there. If you don't know when to contest or what contest is going on, we have a brand new contest calendar link up there. You can click and see what exactly is going on, I think for the next 8 weeks at least. The club's next quarterly meeting will be Saturday, October 21st at the Austin branch of the Austin Public Library. All the details are on the website and in the meeting channel on Discord as well. Our next testing session will follow that club meeting on October 21st. If you want, you can sign up online. There's a Get Licensed tab. You can go sign up online and pay online. Everything will be ready for you for October 21st. We've already got one, Robert, signed up. We got the Lazy Dog going to come and test. So we still have some open spots. So if it's time for you to upgrade, like Marshall, congratulations, Marshall, on New Extra. Or if it's time to get your buddy licensed, by all means, sign up online at n5oak.org. Our next official social event is the Park Potluck, and it is November 4th. I do not have a whole lot of details. We have rented the same dining hall at McKinney Falls State Park, so it will be the same as last year. November 4th, I got to talk to our fox hunt team. We need some foxes. We're going to get a POTA station out there as well, so we'll be doing parks on the air. It's a potluck as well, so everybody brings some food, and I think we had like 35 people last year. It was a great time, and the weather was perfect. Like, it was absolutely marvelous. So, Park Potluck, November 4th. Make sure it is on your calendar, because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Does not seem like we have a fox hunt this weekend, but that can change at a moment's notice, so you never know. Keep your eyes on the Fox Hunt channel on the Discord, and you too can fox hunt with us. We typically meet up at Old Man Breakfast at 8 a.m. at the Waterloo Ice House on 183 in Burnet. All the details are on the calendar. It's the Austin Amateur Radio Club. They've been meeting there for 400 years, and we kind of go in and have some fun. We meet up, have breakfast, and talk some ham radio, and then we go about our business fox hunting. So if you're up at 8 a.m., and are happy to see people and ready for some breakfast, then come meet us at Waterloo Ice House for the Old Man Breakfast at 183 in Burnet. I got to send a big shout out to Ernesto for the traveling taco net. The first one was last Friday at my house. We had a bunch of people. We had Doug, we had David, we had two Davids, we had Sky. We had so much fun hanging out over here and playing. They were real tacos, Steve, damn it. Just because you didn't get invited doesn't mean they weren't real tacos. But we had tacos from La Tapatia, and we ate and drank and had fun and ran a net and got to talk to everybody. So thanks to everybody for coming over and hanging out. I look forward to the next traveling taco net. I think it's Randy's house, KC3NAG. So Steve, maybe you'll get an invite over there and you can see how unreal the tacos are. And since we're talking about the new net, the club is always looking for new net controllers. Steve, KI5UKF, is our newest net controller, and he does a great job, even if he is a little annoying. But if you would like more information, ping us in the Thursday Night Net channel, and you can also find the script pinned in the channel as well. Go hang out with Steve. He was over in the video channel last time I saw, so howdy, Steve, hanging out over there. The easiest way to stay up to date is to subscribe to the official club calendar, and you can do that at n5oak.org. Just click on the calendar tab to make that happen. That is all the information that has been declassified for our membership for tonight. So thanks to everybody for hanging out. Thank you, Mireya, for running the net, and Ernesto as well. I think we'll send this transmission back to Mission Control. Your radio will self-destruct in T-minus 10 seconds. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Rusty. Great input. Do we have any feedback on the official information shared tonight? Okay, nothing heard. But information shared during this net has surely been interesting for all ships, orbs, and saucers passing by. So we better let them know what they're listening to. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. And we're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on the N5OAK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. If you're just joining us, be sure your tone is set to 114.8. And for the University Link repeater, 97.4. My name is Maria, my call sign KI5SYX, and I'm your net operator tonight. If you have traveled with us this far, we're glad to say that tonight's cosmical trip has now led us to the main event. Regular check-ins. Let's once again identify more unidentified frequency band operators. Any and all licensed ham operators are welcome to check in. Club members and non-members are also invited. So, comments, projects, and salutations are always welcome. But again, tonight's net has had a very special and mysterious theme going. And the random question of the night may not be so random. If you need a bit of help with your participation tonight, how about answering the following question? With the recent congressional hearings on UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, and the declassification of footage and witness reports, what's your take on all the UAP situation? If you wish to take it to the next level, please tell us your personal experiences, or third-party experiences are fine too. Remember, this is all for fun, so please no dark or inappropriate comments, and let's leave politics out as much as possible. This is an interesting topic, and it's about time we talk about it. So, answer the question if you dare, or not. We just want to hear from you. Come on in with your call sign and name.
This is November 5, Lima X-Ray Sky in Oak Hill.
This is November 5, Sierra Mike Oscar Bill, North Austin.
This is 5 Uniform Kilo Foxtrot, Steve, in Dripping Springs, also known as Regulus 5.
Roger that. Anyone else for regular check-ins tonight?
Mission Control. Please copy Whiskey Zulu 5, Bravo, Bravo, Sierra.
This is Kilo 5, Whiskey Echo Tango.
Very cool. We've got a great bunch of guys checking in tonight's net so far for regular check-ins. And we're going to start with our dear friend Sky, N5LX. Hi, Sky. Thanks for checking in into the regular side of the net. So I wonder, it's okay if you're not going to answer the question. We'd love to hear your information, though. If not, what's going on? What are you going to share with us on tonight's net?
Hey, Mireya, and hi, Ernesto, as well. This is N5LX Friday. That's a really interesting question that you posed. I wish there were more check-ins. It would be interesting to hear people's take on the UAP phenomenon. I've been following that subject since I was a little kid, since in grade school. Ever since I can remember, it's been a very popular subject to a lot of debate. Quite honestly, and this is actually true for a lot of things, my conclusion is basically I can't reach a conclusion. It's kind of a paradox. I mean, I would say, like the vast majority of what I've read and what I've seen, and that includes, eyewitness testimony and video and photographs and everything. I would say the vast majority of the evidence I've seen it's just not very convincing or just not falsifiable, which basically means you can't prove it or disprove it. I do believe that there's a fraction of the evidence and testimony out there that's totally legitimate and does describe or reveal some things that are inexplicable and very well it's really easy to speculate, but I haven't seen anything definitive, but I don't think you can rule anything out, and it's very interesting. I think the recent UAP hearings, I think some of the participants, I'm going to reset real quick. I think some of the participants, at least on the witness side, were totally legitimate and had worthwhile input. I think some of them had never actually witnessed anything themselves, and some of them had. I think some of the other people involved, I think there was some kind of deception going on there, and I'm not sure what it is. It could be a deliberate distraction. It could be some kind of, disinformation campaign, or there could be something genuine and very unusual, that's going on. I guess I'm kind of making a roundabout way of basically just saying I'm comfortable with not knowing, but it would be really fascinating to get more details. I'm going to reset real quick. In any case, it's a really fascinating topic, and I think most people kind of share the sentiments I have, which are, I think it would be ridiculous to think that we're alone in the universe, and I mean, everybody I kind of think deep down would really like to have some evidence of that. I think there's the SETI or SETI, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. That's been going on for a long time, and that's really fascinating too. As far as, I'm going to shift gears real quick here. Ham radio stuff is interesting technology, and I think the thing that I've been up to lately, I'm going to reset real quick. I've been experimenting with some software called SDR Control and using it in conjunction with my IC7300HF rig. And basically what that is, it's a combination of rig control and pan adapter. Well, basically you you can see the spectrum on your screen with a waterfall, and you can control your rig from your computer. And I kind of like it. I haven't tried that before. It's my first taste of what it's like, operating from your computer screen, from a much bigger screen, and plus the benefit of some really great speakers instead of that tiny little speaker. There's some bugs with the software, and I'm not sure it's ready for prime time, but it's fun experimenting with it, and so that's kind of what I've been up to on the amateur radio front. I'm going to kind of end it there. I've been long-winded, sorry about that, but interesting net so far, and thanks very much for hosting it. This is N5LX. Back to you.
Thank you, Sky, for checking in with your wonderful comment. Not long-winded at all, because I think that your comment may be the similar comment that we're going to hear throughout the night. Frankly, everyone is skeptical. Most people have no first-hand experience, and there are a lot of things online and in the media that just make everything super muddy. And, of course, you have all the conspiracies involving government cover-ups. So who the heck knows what's going on? I, frankly, had a fabulous time listening to the hearings. And you're right. The two Navy dudes that were on there, I think his one name is Graves and the other one Fravor. Those guys are Navy officers, and they have firsthand eyewitness testimony during these hearings. Super credible and amazing story. One of these guys said that he saw a cube-shaped vehicle inside a crystal sphere. When I heard that, I just dropped. I don't know. It's just an amazing thing to even hear someone say that they saw. And these guys are under oath. So, I don't know. It just seems so credible to me. These guys have, I don't think, anything to gain from their testimony. But you're right. Other participants, Brush, maybe, has something to gain. I think that some of the sponsors that put together this congressional hearing have shows on television. So I don't know. There might be something else going on with making this credible or not. But there's a lot of accounts of people seeing weird things in the sky that 95% are accountable for, but the other are not. So your long-winded and mine comment, I think summarizes most of everyone's ideas about this topic. And on your comments on your new project on the SDR control, hook them to the HF rig, as a new ham, how could a new ham use something like this? What's the purpose of it?
Wow, you have just asked the golden question about amateur radio. This is N5LX for ID. I mean, amateur ham radio is just kind of what we make it, and I guess everybody has a different perspective on it. For me, it's just I enjoy fiddling around with electronics and mechanical stuff. But more specifically, I think the advantage of having a pan adapter and a rig control on your computer screen, it's just, I don't know, it seems like a more interesting and fun experience, especially for an old guy maybe, but with the better speakers, I have my speakers set up because it's like my workstation for recording music and stuff too. So I have some pretty nice speakers and a fairly big computer screen. I just think it's nicer to have that big control interface and better speakers. But, I like the standalone radio in a box too. So, I think it's I just kind of enjoy checking testing the waters and trying out all this different technology. I just really like it all. Back to you. This is N5LX.
I hear you, Sky. Yes, this hobby is definitely a window to new technology as it comes out every year. So I get it. I'm looking at Ernesto's super fancy radio here, and you have to operate it with your hand. Maybe that's super old school. You need a computer, Ernesto, to operate your radio. Very good, Sky. Well, thank you so much for checking in tonight. I wonder, are there any operators that want to comment? But before that, I need to do what you know I need to do. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N5OAK. My name is Maria, KI5SYX, and I'm your net controller. So again, calling out for any comments for Sky N5LX.
W5DGB.
Come on in, W5DGB.
Yeah, W5EB, I think. I just heard the radio was scanning and it stopped on this frequency, and I just wanted to see if I could get in here. This is W5DGB.
Roger that. We have logged you into our list. W5DGB. We are running a controlled net this evening that runs every Thursday night with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club and N5OAK. And we've logged you in, and we'll continue with our list of participants. The next person on our list is Bill, N5SMO. Hi, Bill. Welcome to tonight's net. Wonder if you're interested in answering our question of the night, or just telling us what you've been up to lately.
Hey there. Yeah, pretty interesting topic for sure. On the radio side, I've been playing on a 2-meter simplex, and the other morning when the tropo was good, got a simplex QSO to Mejia, which is the farthest I've gotten from my location with my antenna on FM, so that was pretty cool. And regarding your question, I think it would be pretty arrogant of us to think that we're the only intelligent life in the universe. And you look at the math, and that says, yeah, there's other planets out there that are inhabitable, but at the same time, like Sky was saying, the proof right now, a lot of the testimony at the hearings was, well, I can tell you, or it's in the papers I've submitted, but we can't discuss it in an open session. So I hope some of the laws and the edicts that came out of that congressional hearing prove fruitful, and there is information that comes out. Personally, I would like to believe that it is true and that they're visiting us because they're trying to steer us off the course we're on with this planet right now, and on the verge to self-destruction, at least some countries, and I don't want to see it go that way. So I would like to think that, yeah, it's real and it's benevolent, but I haven't seen anything that convinces me that it's so. And at the same time, you could look at a channel on YouTube, let me let it reset, where there's a guy with a 3D printer and a power transformer from a microwave oven making an ionic plasma thruster that'll levitate itself and move around without any noise or exhaust or anything like that. So I'm sure if he's doing it in his garage, the government has probably been doing it for 20 or 30 years, so there's no telling what they have out there. So I tend to think part of it may be a disinformation campaign, I'm not saying all of it is, because there is really some stuff out there that is really weird that would push our understanding of physics, if it is indeed true, it's something that we're doing. And the biggest sin of all this, in my opinion, is if that technology exists and the power sources are available to make that stuff work, that it's not being shared for the better of humanity. Those people, I hope, rot in hell, and that's all I've got to say about that. N5SMO.
N5WRW.
Come on in, Dwight. Comment for Bill.
Roger. Well, I'd refer everybody to what's called the Drake equation for when or if or what are the odds that we could talk to anybody. The other thing is distances are incredibly vast just in our galaxy, which is one of billions or even trillions of other galaxies. There's a lot. If you could travel 100 times the speed of light, which you can't, not at the moment anyway, if you could travel 100 times the speed of light, it would still take you 1,000 years to cross just our galaxy, the Milky Way, from one side to the other. And that's just one galaxy. So there's a lot of there out there. N5WRW.
Yeah, let me answer that. The Drake equation is based on a three-dimensional understanding of the universe. When you look at quantum gravity theory and what is going on now in the research there, the maths are showing that pretty much it's 5 dimensions with up to possibly 11 dimensions. And when you talk about travel or communication in dimensions where you're not limited by the speed of light, then it's a whole different ballgame. So, you got to think outside the box a little bit. Yeah, if you keep it based on what our understanding of physics is, then no. But what we've seen totally defies our understanding of physics, and there's witness to it. There's radar of it. There's video of it. So, I don't know. Back to net, N5SMO.
Well, I wish they'd drop by and leave us a note. I don't know. That's a lot of course, as it turns out, something like 95 or 96% of the universe, we have absolutely no idea what it's made of. This dark matter and dark energy. So, who knows?
Yeah, and along those same lines, we hardly know what's like below the first mile of our own oceans. And, so there you go. Who's to say there's not life down there, too? Anyway, I'll turn it back over to Net and let it get on to the next person. I don't want to burn up a lot of time. I want to hear what everybody else has to say about this as well. N5SMO, back to you, Maria, and the Net.
Hey, Bill. Thank you so much for your contribution tonight. We're happy that you are having success on Simplex all the way to Mejia without hitting a repeater. That is very, very cool. So I wonder if people from other non-earthly areas can go that far. I think they do, and they will, based on our communications and our conversations tonight. Something that I did hear during the hearing was one of the Air Force pilots said that they witnessed the movement of these vehicles, in this case the 2004 Tic Tac incident, that has a lot of credibility because a lot of different radars and a lot of different people saw it, and there's a lot of convincing evidence that it was actually captured in some way, the evidence of it moving around. and how it was moving. And he claimed that, in his opinion, this vehicle was moving in a way that is outside our known physics. That was also something that captured my imagination. Because of our limited understanding of how the universe works and what's out there and what energies are available and what energies can be created, is something that also makes it possible for us to be witnessing something that we just don't understand. And another thing that they brought up, which was, again, mind-blowing, was the possibility of them having a holographic type of thing coming here, in addition to them being drones of some type, but being another dimension where they're projecting these vehicles here. That was mind-blowing too. But of course, this is all hearsay. They have no proof. They don't know what's going on. Our understanding of how the universe works is very limited. And my opinion is, if someone is getting here, they're probably not following what we understand in terms of movement through the speed of light. But that's something that, again, is up for debate. Thank you, Dwight, and thank you, Bill, for that very engaging part of our net tonight. After that enlightening part of the net, it's time for another station ID. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N5OAK, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. And tonight, it's me, Maria, KI5FYX, controlling the net tonight. Next on the list, we've got Steve, KI5UKF. Hi, Steve, come on in. Tell us if you'd like to answer tonight's question. If not, what's going on in your ham world?
Maria, KI5UKF here. Thanks for running the net. I guess I'll try and address the question first. I think, to me, I guess probably about 85-90% of the discussion has kind of already occurred, at least as far as my knowledge of it. And so I'll just give my kind of quick 2 cents here. On the, as far as evidence that we know so far, I haven't been very impressed with it personally, just kind of from an evidentiary standpoint. I haven't seen a lot to make me think that, we've been, visited a lot or whatever, but I know that opinions will obviously vary widely on that. On the scientific side of, the possibilities, I've been in ham radio for like a year and a half, but I've been into astronomy as a hobby for about 30 years, so I know a lot more about that, and would go back to what Dwight said, that really the distances that we're talking about, I really don't know that I completely grasp them, but I know that most people probably don't completely grasp them. I've tried to teach lots and lots of youth groups and children about just how to understand the distances and the numbers of planets in space and so forth, and it's just really incomprehensible. And I think we use that word sometime, and it doesn't mean what it's supposed to mean, but this applies here. It's incomprehensible. So I've got to side with, Bill's statements earlier that, it seems like, and to quote the actor in the movie Contact, it seems like it would be an awful big waste of space if we really were alone, because it's a heck of a lot of space. So again, from a personal standpoint, I think probably all of us have been outside a couple of times at night. I've got a memory of my wife and I driving to Lubbock together at night from Austin, and just seeing some really crazy lights, out there, and just stopping the car and getting off the highway and trying to figure out what it was and not being able to answer that question. But I guess my cynical side says it's probably more likely, some kind of weird military experiment than it was anything from out of this world. And so I guess I'll move on from that. I haven't really done much by ham radio. I guess I keep getting all these reports like from Bill of good propagation on bizarre frequencies, and I can't even talk to anybody on 20 meters, at night. So it's just I haven't had the same luck as everybody else. But again, hopefully get a little better. I've kind of been focusing as we hopefully move to cooler weather. I've been doing a lot of research on backpacking. I've never done any real backpacking, and I kind of want to combine that with some ham radio stuff and looking at doing some, kind of short hikes here in the near future. So anyway, thanks for hosting again tonight, and I think this discussion's been very interesting, and I look forward to hearing the rest of it. Back to you, Ned.
Yes, definitely, Steve. I think that your opinion and contribution is shared by many, many of those that are listening tonight. You being an astronomy student for so many years, I'm sure have pondered these questions for a long time. And it sounds like you're maybe hopeful and wishful, big waste of space, as you said. I agree. It would be very, in my opinion, weird if we are the only, sentient beings in such a vast universe that would take so long to even cross our own home, the Milky Way. It's cool that you're sharing information of this magnitude with students that in the future might figure out what the heck is going on out there and maybe solve some of these mysteries. That's very cool that you're taking that time to do that. And of course I was, what you said about there not being proof, you being an attorney, I'm sure that your evidence-based mind is always going to go there. So a lot of the skeptics out there will probably side with you and as well. But let me tell you, going out, driving in the dark, looking at mysterious lights and having them be weird enough for you to stop your vehicle and look to see what they are. I don't know, that adds to the excitement of life, I think. They're probably something explainable, like you said. According to AARO, that agency set up by the government that is out to debunk all of our hopes and dreams of having neighbors in the universe, says that 95% of these guys are completely explainable, and they probably are, but they can't explain the other 5. They just don't know. They're not going to have an opinion. They're just going to say, I don't know. It's weird that a lot of military personnel and commercial aviators are, providing information about what they've witnessed. So, I don't know. It's all over the place. Like you said, where's the evidence? But like I say, what's up with all these witnesses? So, I don't know. I love that everyone's participating in this topic. It could have gone nowhere, but it's going somewhere great. So thank you, Steve, for your participation. And one final note, I am all with you and give you kudos on your plans of going out into the wilderness and trying your hand at communicating from out there with just the bare minimum. And from what I told Ernesto, that's one of the reasons why ham radio is so cool. You can communicate to the other side of the world from a mountaintop, and that makes it cool for me. So, okay, let's open up the floor. Any comments for Steve, KI5 UKF?
N5LX.
And Sky.
I just wanted to kind of touch base, make a real quick comment that kind of relates to all of the previous conversation. I think kind of the conclusions that I come to or that I don't come to kind of rests on the idea that our understanding of physics it is what it is, and I think it's extremely limited and kind of probably a kind of an anthropocentric hubris to think that it's all that much. I mean, human civilization hadn't been around that long in relation to all the other, in relation to, the sense of time that you can just barely imagine in relation to stars, for example. So I guess I would say that though I can't draw any definitive conclusions, I think that it doesn't make any sense to rule things out. I mean, it's a philosophical question, falsifiability, but the Drake equation just doesn't do it for me. It involves too many untested assumptions, and I think it makes more sense to just kind of start from scratch and say, well, our understanding of physics it is what it is, but to imagine that it's somehow close to being definitive, I don't think that would be a very smart assumption. The other thing I was going to say, restart real quick. There are a handful of real popular figures, witnesses to some of this UAP phenomena that have become kind of celebrity, the high-profile stuff. But, I've been following this stuff for many decades, and there's some relatively obscure stuff that involves some highly credible military personnel that really hasn't seen the limelight, and it pretty much defies explanation in ways that are really hard to explain other than some kind of weird phenomenon that's beyond our current understanding of physics. So I would just kind of leave it at that, but it's a really interesting topic, and in my humble opinion, I don't think it makes sense to draw any definitive conclusions.
Well, that's the beauty of this topic. It was my dream that we would have a debate like this. Thank you, Sky, and thank you, Steve, for participating tonight with your very thoughtful and insightful comments for our Thursday Night Net. And before we move on to our next participant, we must have another station ID so that everyone hearing us, again, on Earth or beyond, knows what they're listening to. They're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, N5OAK, and also the University Link Repeater System. And my name is Maria, KI5SYX, and I've been and will be your net controller until you allow me to. All right, Rusty, what's up? WZ5BBS, I'll get it one day. Rusty, are you going to answer tonight's question?
Oh, I can answer with certainty that aliens are real. Anybody that's ever met Anderson knows that. That big dude. Yeah. No, in Stephenville, which is a town where I graduated high school from. I lived about a half hour away from there. But the aliens came to Stephenville and talked to the cows and did all their things and made crop circles and made some believers out of some good old God-fearing people. So, you got to believe that the old aliens are real. And, I'm like everybody else. We can't be the only people, spinning around on this little marble. So, yeah, I totally believe. I really wish they would come down and talk to us, and we could have some fun. But, put me in for the alien camp for sure. And, I'm not going to do anything serious. The conversations that we've had already, I'll let those stand, and I agree with most of all that stuff. So, thanks for on the net tonight, and great topic.
Well, Rusty, I wouldn't expect anything less from you than telling us that there were crop circles and alien contacts where you live. That was very expected, and I knew you were going to come out with something like this. But no, in all seriousness, I think that West Texas, where you're from, I think there's a lot of sightings out there. In fact, I want to say that it's just north of Denton, in Texas, where the very first alien crash was ever documented but never promoted. That was way before Roswell. And I think there's a grave out there that says something to the effect. Have you ever heard of the first crash landing in Texas before the Roswell incident in the 1950s, 40s?
Not. That's news to me. The only trivia fun about Denton I know is that that's where they filmed the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So that's about it. But I spent many a fun night in Denton that I may or may not remember.
Well, maybe you'll remember if you do some research and you'll say, hey, I was out there, because there is a place. It's not Denton proper. It's just north of it, from what I understand. Okay, Rusty, thanks for checking in tonight. Are there any comments for Rusty?
KCNAG.
Come on in, Randy.
Yeah, well, if you drive up Windy 3 northbound past Anderson Mill exit, you'll see lights in the sky, and they're over Rusty's house, or they might be in his house. And as far as the crop circles are, don't let Rusty mow the lawn, okay? It's never going to look right.
All right, now. Red light, and it's in my house. And the last time I mowed your grass, I might have been a little drunk, so you can't hold that against me, Randy.
Okay, Roger Dodger, Rusty. KC3 Energy, back in net. Control.
That was really great. Okay, so now we go to Will, K5WET. Hi, Will. Welcome to the net. I wonder if you're interested in answering our question of the night. If not, what's up with you? Come on in.
Hey, Maria. Good to hear you on Net Control here. I am over here with Rusty, and we're having a few adult beverages. I do believe in aliens, but I don't have a lot to say about it. I just believe.
So you say or claim that you have no reason to believe. Can you dig deeper? Right, he says he believes. Well, you got to give us some more. Why? Why do you believe?
Because I think crop circles are cool.
Roger that. Well, I think that there was a crop circle or a crop pattern that appeared in England many years ago that recorded the image that was sent out to space by Sagan in the 70s to notify the aliens that we were sentient and that we knew things. And it sent our DNA up there and our genders and the information about who we were on that beautiful golden plate. And that appeared in a very, very detailed way in a field out in England a few years ago. I don't know. I'm not saying it's aliens. I doubt it. Ernesto's laughing. But what a talent. Man, how can you cut that grass to really look the way that piece was? Ernesto says that there was some Mexican contractors out there that surely made that happen. But yes, crop circles were a mystery. I think they've been debunked fairly, commonly, and so regrettably, I don't think that's going to give any credibility to our topic tonight, but they are gorgeous. But here's another thing about sight contacts. You know that encounters of the second kind is when there is evidence on Earth where vehicles or crafts have been where the environment is affected. So, you know, the grass is burned or there's some weird chemicals in the space or something's happening. So, crop circles, maybe not so much but definitely some weird contact on Earth from vehicles that could make you believe one day and have something to put that belief on. Well, thanks for checking in tonight. Do we have any comments for K5WET? All right, well, thank you for checking in tonight. Hope you have a great time with Rusty on a Thursday night net hangout. And now we're going to Patrick, W5DVG. Thanks for waiting, Patrick. And we welcome you to the net tonight. We wonder if you're interested in addressing our question of the night. If not, no worries. What is up with you? Come on in, Patrick. We're waiting for Patrick. Hopefully there wasn't an abduction incident that we have to account for Patrick. W5DVG, one more time, Patrick. All right. Well, Patrick, you're welcome to recheck in later on if you're still around and if you come back on the ship that you flew away on. But first, station ID. This is the OKL Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. Our call sign N5OAK, and my name is Maria, KI5SYX, controlling the net tonight. We're looking for seconds tonight, and if you are just checking in, we're very interested in what your opinion is on UAPs. With the classification of footage and witness reports lately, we want to know what you think is going on. Come on in with your comments.
KI5PZN.
We've got KI5PZN. Come on in, Ernesto. What do you think? So our topic tonight is with the recent congressional hearings on UAPs and the declassification of footage and witness reports. We want to know what your insight is on UAPs, if you have any. And I don't know if you have a personal experience or a third party, this is what someone told me story. That's cool too. Come on in.
KI5PZN. And hello to everybody listening and participating. Well, I have, let's see, regarding UFOs and all of that stuff, kind of like Sky, you know, it's something that I've been very interested since I was a kiddo. But let's see, there was one time that I kind of like Steve, I guess I'm going to take a little piece of stories for everybody. One time I was leaving the house. This is a different place, not here, or North Austin, and I remember having to get out of the car because there was some weird lights and shenanigans happening in the area. And again, there was no explanation to what I saw, but you know, you just keep on trucking. And regarding the evidence, usually people are saying that the pictures are always blurry and all of those things, but I'm thinking, you know, and that's hear me out here. Well, what if those spaceships are blurry, you know? And we're taking a picture, but they just happen to be blurry. It's done on purpose. All right, and then other than that, let's see. Been working on the usual stuff, getting closer to wrapping up the construction up there in the nonprofit. Radio-wise, I've been doing HF in the evening. Not a whole lot of radio during the day, and that's been, you know, better than before, which I wasn't doing any radio, except for the nets. And last week I got and I'm really excited about this. I need to get me a power supply with enough juice, and that's already in the list of things. But I got a 2-meter amp. It's a that says 45 watts in, and it spits out 170 out. And I've never had a 2-meter amp before, so I'm really excited about that. Mostly for the Southside Simplex net that we do on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on 146.555. But again, I need to get me the power supply for that, and according to the oracles on Discord, I need to also get a fan so that I do not cook here in this room. See, that's about it, Mireya. I'm going to send it back to Net Control. This is KI5PZN.
Oh, Ernesto, it would be you that comes up with the explanation why every single footage that we see is blurry. Do we have any comments for K5PZN?
Juliet 5, Charlie, India, Papa. Rob from South Austin.
Come on in, Rob. Welcome to the net.
Thanks so much for hosting, and just FYI, this is my first transmit, so super excited to be doing this on the net. Reset here. Just wanted to comment on his blurry comment about the photos. I love that. We just don't have the physics or the frame rate or the ability in the sensor space maybe to capture what they're putting out there. Also wanted to just shout out the comment on the Contact quote. You know, there are 4 billion stars in our galaxy alone, and if just one of those million had life, and if one of those million had intelligent life, there would be literally millions of civilizations out there. If there wasn't, then that would be an awful waste of space, as Matthew McConaughey said, which is a great Carl Sagan quote, so just sending it back to the net after that. Thanks.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for checking in tonight, and we are so excited that this is your first contact. Wonderful. We would like to ask you please to repeat your name and your call sign.
This is Kilo Juliet 5, Charlie India Papa, Rob, South Austin.
Welcome, Rob, and we're so excited that you thought that you should check into tonight's net because it's a good one. So we want to welcome also, we wonder if you're part of the OKL Club, and we want to know when you got licensed. Come on in.
I just found out about the repeater just a couple days ago upon arriving back to Austin, and I got my license just last Sunday, I believe.
Well, congratulations. And don't forget to go to n5oak.org because we are very interested in you becoming a member. We want you to be here with us. It's free to join, and it's a fun club. I think that hopefully this net is proof that we are here to be a community and talk about great topics and also learn from each other all the details and opportunities that there are in ham radio. So, Rob, thank you for checking in, and thank you for your comments on the quote. And, you know, coincidentally, I recently learned that the director of the movie brought in that astrophysicist that was part of the government team on Blue Book. And by that time, he'd been retired out of that program ended in the 60s, but he was a big proponent of reporting, like, you know, military guys, commercial aviation guys and gals, you know, people that are witnessing this have to report this stuff, because if not, you know, how are we going to, you know, put the dots together and see what's going on? His name is Dr. Hynek, and he was actually a contributor during the movie. I think he actually appeared in the movie, and the director read his book. I think it's called Alien Experience or Encounters Experience, something like that. Look it up. Dr. Hynek. And he was a big proponent of believing witnesses, not discounting them, letting everyone know that this is a real thing. And as an astronomer and astrophysicist, I think that he was hoping that there were other beings in the universe, and hoping that they were benevolent and maybe helping us. I don't know, but he definitely knew that they were out there, or believed that they were, and wanted people to speak out. So, thank you for bringing up that movie. It's an important part of the history in the United States of both wanting to believe, putting it into the media through movies and all that we've experienced for the past 50 years, and then that underlayment of, you know, witnesses that were not credible or credible, and conspiracies. It's just such a mixed match of you know, of information, but I think somewhere we all know the truth. Rob, we really appreciate you checking in. And one last question. What got you into ham radio? And this is a question from KI5 PZeta, and he's sitting right next to me.
Thanks so much for that question. And it was specifically the movie Contact. W9GFO calling to see at the very beginning of the movie literally got me interested in radio, and it's been a long journey, but I'm here. So thank you, and thanks for hosting Back to Net Control.
Wonderful. Wow, what a cool story that got you interested in ham radio and the possibility of communicating with, I don't know, others, let's just say, communicating with others through airwaves and HF radio. Obviously, the big part of that movie, what's all about that. Very cool. Well, Rob, thank you for participating tonight. Your contribution was welcome, and we're very excited that you are here, and hopefully we'll hear from you again, especially if you become part of our club, n5oak.org. Go there right away and become a member. Do we have any comments for Rob? KJ5 CIP.
KI5PZN.
Come on in, PZN.
Hey Rob, just want to tell you real quick, congratulations on becoming a ham. And like Mireya said, the Oak Hill Club it's a lot of fun. It's free to join in. And we also have a Discord server, and it's really awesome because it's got all kinds of channels with everything ham related. It's a bunch of channels, and we have a big group of people that are really friendly, and it will be really cool if you want to join in. You can join the Discord server by going to n5oak.org and scrolling down, and you can do the join the Discord server. And we people that are the admins are listening tonight, so you will get in if you try to get in tonight. Just wanted to let you know, and we will love to have you. And we have nets almost every night, so if you go to n5oak.org, you also see a calendar for all of the nets. Again, there's a net almost every night on this frequency, so just wanted to welcome you to the Austin area ham community, and hopefully we'll hear more from you. This is KI5PZN back to net.
Great. Thank you, Ernesto. Rob, did you get that? Any final comments?
I did. Thank you for the comment. I'm definitely going to join the club, and I was actually trying to join Discord earlier, and there seems to be an error on the invite link on the home page. So if there's an update maybe there that can happen, or whatever can happen, it just says that the invite is invalid right now. Back to that. Thank you.
WZ5BBS, Rusty, are you around by any chance?
Are you looking for me?
Rob seems to be having issues joining the Discord, and I'm not sure if that's something that could be reset or not, the invitation, so I just wanted to see, because you are the master of the domain. Back to you.
Who's having problems with, somebody sent me an email that said they were having problems with the invite, and I went and clicked on it, and it was good. Make sure you click on the Join Discord button and not the purple Discord banner, but I will definitely go take a look at it.
Did you get that information, Rob?
I did. Yes, thank you. KJ5CIP. I just having some issues maybe with my login, so let me double check, and I'll try and reach out through the website if I'm not having an issue anymore, or if I still am. Back to that.
And also, if you can't make it work and you can't figure it out, while you're on the website playing around, if you'll click on that email, that will go directly to me, and that way I'll have your email address, and I can send you another invite link, and we can go from there. But I will go poke around and see what we can do. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
Thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Ernesto. We are very excited that Rob is going to join our club, and that's a shout out to people that are listening that are not part of the N5OAK club. Come on in, n5oak.org, join, it's free, and it's a lot of fun, and if you join the Discord, it's extra fun. Let's do a station ID. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club N5OAK. My name is Mireya, KI5SYX. And we are calling for another check-in round. Are there any operators out there willing to become identified tonight? Come on in with your call sign and name.
This is KB5MPJ, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike Papa Juliet, Jason and Buda.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for checking in tonight. We love to hear you. So I hope that you've been listening to our theme of the night. It's all about UAPs. And I wonder, have you had any UAP experiences? Do you want to share any? And what's your opinion on UAPs? Come on in, Jason.
KB5MPJ. No, sadly I don't have any experiences to report, except taking the spacewalk in downtown Roswell, which was awesome. If you like UFO kitsch and stuff like that, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, downtown Roswell was pretty much a riot on stuff like that. The spacewalk, I think, is what it was called, a thing that you can walk through, and there's all these alien scenarios and props and everything. So that was about as close as I've ever gotten to aliens. But yeah, I mean, I think it's very likely that there's other beings out there, but will we ever see them? They may have existed long ago or in the future. With the distances and everything, we may not ever end up encountering them. But I think it's very likely that they're there or they have been there. KB5MPJ.
W5DGB.
Come on in, DBG.
Yeah, I think I was in there earlier on a different frequency, but anyway, just want to jump in here and check in and see if my amplifier is working. W5DGB.
Yes, Patrick, we hear you very, very clearly. It's definitely working. And Jason, thanks for checking in tonight. Well, Ernesto and I also visited Roswell a few years ago because I love anything that has to do with this topic. And we were there, we went to the museum, and it had a tone of seriousness in one room, but a mockery in the other room. I don't know if you experienced the same thing if you did go to the museum on the main drag in Roswell. So the serious part had books and articles and testimonies and photographs and everything cool that you would think would be present in a space that was trying to investigate something serious. And then you go through a threshold that has green men in platinum suits and a neon spaceship in the space and et cetera, et cetera. I left Roswell very in turmoil because I wanted to experience what I had read about the possible, first widely documented, craft that had crashed and possible capturing of alien entities, and wanted to see what they had there so that people could learn about this topic. And regrettably, I found a kind of comical, take to it. I don't know what your experience was. Did you have a similar experience, and were you hoping for something more serious?
So we just did the spacewalk. We didn't have a whole lot of time because we were just passing through. So, yeah, we did the spacewalk. There was nothing serious. It was pretty much 1950s sci-fi and, you know, kind of humorous take on it. But it was a lot of fun. So, you know, if did you happen to do that? Did you go through the spacewalk?
I don't know if we did a spacewalk. I know that Ernesto and I went into a museum where there were exhibit with the spacecraft of some sort and some little green men in spacesuits. Then that same space had another room with a more serious tone to it. So it sounds like we had a different experience. I don't think we did the spacewalk, and it sounds like you didn't do the museum.
Yeah, I think you're right, because we had been on a hiking trip, and then we ended up in Roswell on the way back, and we had some extra time because we were getting a battery replaced in the truck. We were greeted with a dead battery when we got back from the hike. The truck started, but it barely. And so we went to Roswell and got a battery put in, and we went and ate and had, you know, walked around and looked at some stuff while we waited on that. That's about all the time we had. We had time for the spacewalk, and there was some kind of like rock and jewelry shop that we went in that was like right around the corner from it, and that's all that we really had time for.
Well, it does sound like we had a different experience. And when you said rock shop or rock table, I had to laugh because regrettably, when this topic comes up, there are individuals who will definitely want to make it commercial and sell some knick-knack or this or that, and it makes it totally not serious. It makes it funny and just you know, an area for you to make fun of. So I don't know. It's cool that you got to have fun, and I don't. It doesn't sound like you were there to investigate serious UAP phenomena. It sounds like you were there because your battery went out. But it sounds like you had a lot of fun, which is also cool with this topic. It is fun. You know, when we went there, we also had fun at the museum. And that also speaks to what a lot of the experiences is it a serious topic where we're going to investigate, you know, things that we can't explain in our skies that may be an issue with our, you know, domestic, military situation, or are we going to have fun with it and, you know, and just, you know, say it's a fun topic? So I don't know. I think that that's also something to discuss where we want to not be very serious about it and just take it as something fun and take it with a grain of salt. So it sounds like you had fun when you went to Roswell. We did too. And are you going to go back to Roswell anytime soon?
Hey, Maria, the repeater cut off whatever you were about to ask. It timed out, and I didn't get your question.
The question is, will you go back to Roswell, New Mexico?
I'm sure I will at some point. I go to New Mexico, you know, maybe once a year, twice a year, so I may find myself there again. We did, just about a month ago, another hiking trip, and we also went to the Space Museum in Alamogordo, which was interesting. Not really an alien-themed, museum, but lots of stuff about space travel and a lot of artifacts and parts of, different spacecraft and everything to look at. So that was pretty cool. KB5MPJ.
Roger that. The cool thing is that it's very close to us. It's only, hours away, drive. And it is a very beautiful state. New Mexico is one of my favorite states in the United States. It has a lot of variety, and Roswell is just a little gem there in the middle of something funky and unique to visit. And hopefully you'll do it. You'll visit again in the future. And that museum sounds cool. I didn't even know there was a museum in Alamogordo, but I guess that makes sense because of the military base out there. Okay, any comments for Jason tonight? Thank you, Jason, for checking in tonight. We haven't heard any comments for you. And we will go to another station ID. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club. Call sign N50AK. And we're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on the N50AK repeater system and the University Link repeater system. My name is Maria. I've been your net controller for tonight, and my call sign is KI5SYX. And Ernesto, we're going to call for another cycle of regular check-ins. Do we hear any more check-ins? Come on in.
K5JM with a recheck.
Kilo Charlie 3, November Alpha Golf, Randy. The other side of Andersonville from Rusty. Coming in on the flagship, 320.
Welcome, Sam, with our recheck. Thank you for doing that. I'm so excited to hear from you again. I hope that you have a comment related to our theme of the night. K5JM, come on in.
This is K5JM. Hey, thanks, Medea. This has been a really great net, so I had to jump back in, and I've been listening along, enjoying it. And I really echo a lot of the comments that I've heard tonight. And I just wanted to add, I don't know if you're a sci-fi fan or not, but in the Star Trek realm, they had this idea, they called it the Prime Directive, which is like supposed to be one of their big rules, which they occasionally broke. And it's like basically any civilization that wasn't up to some standard that they wouldn't interfere in the development of. And I always wonder if maybe real life parallel to that, and I don't know where the lines fall, getting glimpses of aliens or not, or when people have these sightings, but perhaps until we reach some level of civilization, maybe they have some kind of no contact policy, and I'll let it drop. And the other comment I had about that is the famous professor and cosmologist Stephen Hawking. He talked about it when he was still alive, that maybe it's not such a good thing to be broadcasting our signals out to the cosmos, and maybe and the idea that maybe the aliens are not benevolent, and maybe they'll show up and want to take over. So there you go, back to net, K5JM.
Sam, you get my heart of the night. I was so hoping that someone calls out the Prime Directive tonight, and you did. I agree. I think that these aliens are, I guess, seeing who we are and what we're about and realizing we just can't handle it. We're very diminutive to them, very, backward. They're probably thousands of years ahead of us. And they do not want to interfere with our development, but only want to observe, just like Captain Picard would say to his staff on the Enterprise. Gene Rodderman was not wrong. That's just my opinion. I think he was a forward thinker. He's a futurist. He's dead now, regrettably. But I think he had some very ideas that make a lot of sense. If you see these shows, you'll think, hey, that makes sense. Oh, if I was an advanced being, I would probably do this or that. If we were an emerging, civilization on Earth, we would probably do this or that. He was really forward-thinking. It's not to say that it's something trivial. I think that these shows actually investigate what is possible for humanity. I think that's what made that show so cool and made so many people love Star Trek, because it is so relatable to humanity. So thank you for bringing that up. I agree. I think the Prime Directive has something to do with them not contacting us. Thanks, Sam, for bringing that up. Any comments for Sam? K5JM.
N5SMO.
Come on in, Bill.
What if they've already been here and they're responsible for a lot of what we see in ancient drawings and ancient carvings and ancient statues and maybe even some religions? There's some people that think that. They have some pretty convincing proof. Not proof, but evidence. Nothing's proven yet, but evidence that may have been the case. And I think that's kind of an interesting thing to think about. And if you're going to consider all possibilities, well, throw that one in there too, N5SMO.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, great comment there. And it's totally possible and plausible. I mean, maybe they've already tampered with it, or maybe someone got in trouble, like Captain Kirk or Picard got in trouble a couple times for interfering accidentally or purposely. So maybe you're on something there, or maybe this is just like a big comedy show for them. Like they just tune in and watch the Earth show. Back to net, K5JM.
KB5MPJ.
Come on in, Jason.
Okay, here's one that I've often thought of. What if they just know this is a bad neighborhood and they should avoid stopping here?
Oh, man, yeah. I'm going to take your net off the rails here with theories. But, yeah, or it's like, was it the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe? They need to bypass and Earth has to go, or or the opposite of that, you have the bad neighborhood. I think of the movie Independence Day, and it just always stands on my mind because it's L.A., and the news broadcaster is telling the residents of L.A. to not shoot their guns at the spaceship so they don't start an intergalactic war, but of course, they had other ideas already. But I could see, humans kind of messing it up and them kind of going, we're going to bypass this one.
Very good contribution from Sam, Bill, and Jason. All these ideas are worthwhile in our consideration of what the heck is going on out there. Thank you, Sam, for your recheck and your contribution tonight. Any final comments for Sam's check-in?
No further comments, but thank you so much for this really fun net night. Yeah, you definitely hooked me in with the pictures on Discord, and someone says he needs to get closer to the repeater, so hopefully he has a mag mount on his spaceship there. And back to net. Thanks, K5JM.
Thank you, Sam. Sending you a virtual high five, and thank you for checking in tonight. It was great. And before we go to Randy, we have to, again, tell everyone who's listening, intergalactically or earthbound, what's going on tonight. They're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, N5OAK. And my name is Maria, and my call sign is KI5SYX. Next, we're going to check in with Randy, KC3NAG. Come on in, Randy. You're next.
Well, thank you, Maria. And hi to everybody in the net. I personally haven't had any experiences that I'm aware of. Who knows? But I will quick mention, well, I'm a mechanical engineer, so I'm kind of like a man of facts, but I'm very open-minded because I'm a, designer or creative engineer. And our eyes are the worst sensory items that we have on our bodies. So, you really cannot trust what you see. I mean, you really, really, really can't. But I think there's something going on, and I think what's going on is, since we have a really great magnetic core and a magnetic field, I think they kind of bounce in and out of the magnetic flux and recharge their batteries and just keep traveling. I think we're just a truck stop. That's about it. Let me let it drop for a sec. On another note, I have noticed that lights on, lights off phenomena over at Rusty's house. So, I don't know, maybe they're using his charger too. And, one thing about Rusty I've noticed is when I get close to him, the hair stands on my arms. But I think it's just his magnetic personality. KC3NAG, back to that.
Randy, that is a great one. And, your idea of other entities from different places in the universe coming over and just stopping by to re-energize could be a thing. I mean, hey, the Earth has wonderful energies. Our star, the sun, has wonderful energies. So definitely could be a truck stop. But of course, my favorite one of your comments was that Rusty also has that same effect. Rusty, are you out there? Any comments for Randy?
Yeah, it's just, Randy's back here is, it goes up whenever he's around amazing people. And so it's just kind of what it is. He's just around amazing people whenever he's at my house or anywhere close. So, time for a shave and a haircut there, buddy.
Yeah, well, you would have to invite me over to your house first, Rusty.
that I held you at gunpoint. It was a total mistake. I told you just, knock twice. But you're welcome at the house anytime, man. Show up.
Yeah, you still need to finish mowing my lawn, too.
I would, but, you're complaining, telling people you got crop circles. So, I don't know. I'm beginning to feel unappreciated, Randy.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk later, buddy. KC3 NAG, back to net control.
Hey, Randy, don't you worry. You're next up on the Traveling Taco Net. So, I hear that Rusty may want to drop by. So I think that will all be resolved. Okay, thanks, Randy, for checking in tonight. Any comments, final comments for Randy? KC3NAG. Nothing heard. All right, so we have a check-in, a virtual check-in, and we want to thank David for using technology. So we have this check-in from David through Discord, and just so you know, he's using technology, and I think that's what the extraterrestrials are looking for in terms of our abilities. Are we able to communicate in a nonverbal way? Well, David figured it out. He was able to communicate on Discord. David, N5YAN, come on in. Oh no, I think we're having radio signal failures. David, do you want to check in again? N5YAN, come on in. Hey, David, we're seeing you on Discord, but we're not hearing you here on the net. N5YAN. See if you can check in a little bit later.
November 5 Yankee Alpha, November 10.
David, we can hear you. Come on in. Welcome to the Thursday Night Net.
Amy Day, sorry about that. I didn't have the tone programmed correctly, so I'm in VFO mode right now. My call is N5YAN, and I have not had any alien encounters yet. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen, but I don't discount the possibility that they could exist. I mean, lots of space out there, and if they do exist, they could be super advanced and we have no idea, or they could be like little single-celled organisms. Who knows? And I just like to keep an open mind, but also be a little realistic. N5YAN, back to net.
Hey, David, thanks for checking in tonight. And thanks for speaking for the one-celled entities that are out in the universe that do not have a voice. You're right! there are there are some things out on Mars, maybe on the moons of Jupiter, that have some life, but they can only speak in single cell mode. How the heck are we going to communicate with them? Ernesto says that it's single sideband, but I don't think so. You're right. There are many forms of life in our solar system, much less in our galaxy and much less in our universe. Recently, I saw an article online that said that we had destroyed some very primitive life on Mars just by our presence on there. So, yes, you're right. Life has different meanings on different levels, on different planets, in our solar system, and in our galaxy. David, thanks for checking in tonight. Do we have any comments for David? N5YAN.
Okay.
David, thanks for checking in tonight. We do not have any other check-ins for commenting for David. All right, we have another station ID. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, hosted by the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club N5OAK. My name is Maria, KI5SYX. And we're going to call for the final call for check-ins tonight. Any other operators interested in checking in on Thursday Night Net?
This is KL5 Golf Romeo. This is Kilo Golf 5, Uniform November Kilo.
Okay, the person that called before, UNK, what was your call sign, please?
I think there might have been two of us. Kilo 7 Tango Victor Alpha.
Sounds great. David, K7TVA, come on in to the Thursday Night Net.
Thank you, Maria. This is Federation Vessel Kilo 7 Tango Victor Alpha reporting in from the North Austin Quadrant. I think a lot of great discussion this evening on the net about extraterrestrials and terrestrials and the relationship between them. The Drake equation was mentioned earlier, and I think the Drake equation, in my mind, proves as much as will ever be proven that there have to be other forms of life out there in the universe. However, it also tells us that we may not, two intelligent civilizations with technological capabilities may not exist for overlapping time frames with very much likelihood. I'll let this reset. So I think there are probably alien civilizations that have flourished and then gone extinct, because we're seeing right now how hard it is to keep a technological civilization on a planet sustainably. And it's
spreading a civilization interstellar is equally, if not more difficult, for a whole host of other reasons. So I think it's very likely that there are going to be scores of civilizations out there, and very unlikely that we will ever get to meet them. Anyway, that's what I have for you on that topic. So I'll bounce it back to the net. Kilo 7 Tango Victor Alpha.
Hey, David, thank you so much for checking in tonight. And you are right. I think it is unlikely that we will hear from a civilization that is ready and willing to contact us. I don't know. We're very primitive, I think, based on the sightings that we've had. These vehicles that are traveling through our atmosphere that many of the witnesses are reporting on seem so advanced, and we seem so behind. And there seems to be a very big gap in a bridge of communication between them and us. I don't know. It seems weird. They seem to be very advanced. We seem to be very behind. How can we communicate? Maybe they'll be advanced and disintegrate, and we'll be behind and then advance and disintegrate and never even communicate. KI5PZN says that the answer is CW, but I don't know if that's the answer. It just seems like they're on another plan. They have another plan and we have another plan. Seems really, really unlikely that we'll communicate. Any comments for David? K75. Ernesto, can you? K7TVA. Okay, nothing heard for K7TVA. David, thank you for checking in tonight on this very important topic. I know we started as a unique and, I guess, topic that had not been covered in the net. I think it's important people are checking in, letting everyone know that it's important to them, and it's something that they've been considering for many years. And I don't know. Thanks for giving your contribution on why this is an important topic. Thanks, K7TVA. Now let's go talk to Doug, KG5UNK. Hi, Doug. Are you going to answer our question for tonight?
Hi, Maria. Hello, everyone. Hey, I tuned in late, so obviously I've heard enough to know it has something to do with aliens. But how are you doing tonight? It sounds like you're doing pretty good over there. And what is the question?
Hey, Doug. Thanks for checking in tonight. And, okay, you've checked in late, but no worries. I will read our question for tonight. With the recent congressional hearings on UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena and the declassification of footage and witness reports, what's your take on the whole UAP situation? If you wish to take it to the next level, tell us any experience that you may have, or just answer the question. That's tonight's question.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Until I see it with my own eyes, then I'll believe it. There's too much trickery that can go on nowadays. But do I believe that there's other beings out there? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, you know, we can't be the only people, the only creatures that are alive. As long as we don't let AI and stuff like that take over to where we lose control and become like the Terminator series, you know. That's the bad thing of letting machines take over, and then they bring the wrong aliens in. Copy?
Hey, Doug, thanks for checking in tonight. Well, you have just introduced another topic for the Thursday Night Net that has to do with AI. So tonight we're only considering, I guess, interstellar communications with humans. And of course, we've had a lot of information of contributions towards opinions on what's happening or not. But AI is, I think, a little bit different than what our topic is about tonight.
I didn't mean to skew it there. So I have to agree with Ernesto that CW would be the probably the easiest form of communication with anyone. The thing is that no matter what it is, someone has to translate it the first time.
Oh yes, we agree. And that's a great topic for the next Mireya and Ernesto and Net Control Thursday Night Net. Thanks, Doug. Any comments for KG5UNK? Okay, nothing heard. Thank you, Doug. KG5UNK for checking in tonight.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for doing it, and we'll talk to you later. KG5UNK back to net.
Wonderful. Thanks, Doug. Have a great night tonight. So, let's get the final count for tonight's net. 19 stations participating in tonight's galactic-themed Odyssey. Thank you for joining us for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, a service of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, call sign N5OAK. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for the net. We're a nonprofit based in Austin. For more information, please visit n5oak.org, where you can read about the club, sign up for our email list, or even donate to support the continued growth of amateur radio in Central Texas. Big shout out to Kyle, KA5D, for linking the University repeater system for this net. This has been Maria, KI5SYX in East Austin. 73. Have a great night and thanks for participating in tonight's net. This system is now returned to regular amateur use.
KL5 California 250. Base station outside Fredericksburg.
Please repeat.
Kilo Lima 5 Golf Romeo, just visiting outside of Fredericksburg, Texas.
Hey, Golf Romeo, come on in.
Roger, appreciate it. Just an internet net or just a regular net? Over.
Well, this is a mainly RF net, but we do have All-Star access.
Awesome. Well, just moved back to Fredericksburg, Texas, outside of Fredericksburg a little ways. Dig into it up in Alaska where I came from, into Kilo Lima. Anyways, good to hear everybody on. I'm sure I'll assimilate myself into the net, but thanks for coming back to me.
Hey, thanks for checking in. And we are here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. And this is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net. And the call sign N5OAK. And you can also look for us on n5oak.org if you want more information about our net.
Roger, I think I hit the Oak Hill repeater earlier today. So life is good. Just sitting down on the little base station right now. Looking to get the 675-foot vertical up, and yeah, we'll be talking to KL5 Golf Romeo. Just listening.
Very cool. Thanks for checking in. Have a great night.
Roger, roger. KL5 Golf Romeo, back to net.
KI5 SYX, clear.